Nearly 3 weeks had passed since that unforgettable evening. Masha shivered awake again, soaked in cold sweat, with her breath being ragged as she relived those moments in the dark. A nightmare, Victor laughing, waving her cracked phone, clawed at her mind. Despite the heaviness still sitting in her soul, that night had been something special, almost magical. Not everyone gets a moment like that. Maybe one in a million, or maybe no one at all. At least it shook up the mess of school deadlines and dumb fights with friends, she thought. But I've got to move on, right? Those moments are just echoes now, nothing else. This morning didn't kick off with coffee, a headache, or the blare of an alarm. It started with a thud. Masha had tumbled off the bed, smacking her lower back hard against the floor. The pain shot through her, sharp and instant. She groaned, supporting herself up on an elbow, and spotted her phone lying nearby, screen down. Her heart skipped as she flipped it over. A fat crack sliced across the glass. "Oh, perfect," she muttered. "This day's already promising a good time, but I'm still on the floor." Her right hand grabbed the edge of the nightstand by the bed, pulling her up from that cold, uncomfortable spot. Then came a quick stretch, her stiff joints popping loud enough to make her sleepy brain awake. Being fully awake now, she flipped open the journal on her desk and started checking her prep for another school day. Everything looked in order, so Masha shuffled to the window and put up the blinds to peek at the weather outside. Beyond the grimy glass, the big city yawned awake. Gray buildings with cracked walls, rusty old balconies as ancient as the earth, neon signs flashing over shady stalls, luring any stray soul or homeless dog hunting for scraps. It was all too familiar, but it weighed on her, sinking her into its sticky gloom. Her eyes drifted to the courtyard, boxed in by two worn-out 9-story blocks that cut the wind. 200 meters off stood an old Soviet kindergarten, always stuffed full despite its crumbling state. Wonder what's gonna break for anyone to care, she thought. A wall falling down, maybe? Still, after school she loved sitting on the sill with a mug of tea, watching kids mess around outside, waiting for their parents. It always dug up old memories. I was like that once. Time would just melt away, leaving me with paper and pencils. I'd cry my eyes out when I had to leave the toys. One time, I even asked Dad why we were so broke. He could answer anything but that. Oh, and the puppet shows. We'd laugh with the teachers, but Vasilisa Andreevna knew I was too quick. She'd pull me aside so I wouldn't ruin the tricks for the others. Say what you want, those were good days, bright ones. Looking back now warms me up a bit. Spring walks home, ripping leaves of bushes, tearing them apart. Late May, feeling summer's heat creeping in, counting down to lazy weeks at Grandma's village. Weeks chasing bugs in the garden, eyeing the neighbor's cat Chernish, or following snail tracks on the wild lawn. Those big dusty clothes. Masha grinned, picturing herself in the mirror back then. Yeah, that's childhood. Where did it go? Why don't plastic dolls sliding across my desk light me up anymore? No answers, I guess. Or maybe it's not that it's gone, it's just that I gave up on it too soon. Still, damn, it's pretty out there. Gray clouds crawled slow across the sky, sprinkling the street with snowy bits. Then they split, letting dazzling sunlight flood in. Masha smirked, darted to the window, and flung it open. Icy air, -20 degrees, rushed inside, hauling in chunky snowflakes that glittered like tiny sparks in the sun. Her eyes popped wide with excitement, not narrowing like they should have. Caught in the rush, she hopped onto the sill, knocking over an orchid pot. It smashed, scattering the flowers across the rug. Standing tall, she sucked in the frosty air, coughed hard, and braced against the wall as her knees wobbled. On an adrenaline kick, she poked her head out, letting soft rays warm her face. Her mouth stretched into a real smile as she shouted up, "Clouds, oh clouds, so sly up there, stir me up if you dare. Playful clouds, so light, so free, toss a hint down to me. I know, I dream too high, hoping for your soft reply. But silence is all I will get, I bet. Cry about it, not yet. You won't see me fall apart, no matter how you test my heart. Shame on you, cloud, so cruel, so mean, teasing fox, it's just obscene. Tears are only for my sleep, that's a rule I'll always keep." She shook her head hard and stuck out her tongue. "Yeah, I know you won't talk back. No one gets an answer. I'd love a chat though, but what do puffs or water care about me? Or anyone down here? You hang up there, blind to us all." She had to close the window before she turned into ice. Masha leaped down, dodging the flower petals with bare feet. The cold chair didn't bother her. She liked the bite. Pain was her thing, her spark. Whatever life threw in her way, she ate it up, figuring it made her tougher. The apartment was brutal cold, but digging out a warm blanket felt like a chore. Still, with a huff, she yanked her favorite satin throw from the closet. Next up, wash her face and hit the kitchen. The fridge light splashed her sour face, and she squinted. Cooking? Nah, too much work. Cereal would do. She grabbed milk, threw it on the table, and froze. Why even bother with food, she thought, tipping the bottle to her lips. Milk dribbled down her chin, but she didn't mind. Her teeth clacked as she shoved it back. On the way to her room, she snagged the blanket, now tossed in the bathroom, and bundled up, dropping into her chair by the bed. All right, an hour till school, time to relax. Oh, a text. Let's check. A few swipes and Telegram's dark blue glow filled the screen. Yo, you grump, hey. Oh, Misha, you texted, what's up? Just seeing if you're still kicking. Cute, real cute. Relax, I've got stuff to spill. Oh, tough guy. So, you and Victor were a thing. No arguing, I know it. I'll say something anyway. Sure, but you're just stalling the juicy part. Oh, yeah, spill it. Caught some news yesterday? Give me more than that. You're all mysterious, right? Barely talk, no personal stuff, hardly any pics, but yesterday, wow, I saw plenty. Nice sights under that skirt, huh? You're full of it. Not a drop. Show me, sweetie. Misha, that creep from A class sends 7 photos. Ooh, whoa, what's this? And your trash talk about Ira and Evelina too? What happens when they hear, Masha? This isn't real. Oh, it's real, babe. And this is just the start of what I've got. Masha couldn't stomach Misha's next words. She didn't want to. Victor, that snotty kid she had fallen for, had some nerve after all. Didn't see this coming, she thought, her fist balling up. He swore on his life those pics were safe. Shots from that night I cried, spilling how scared I was of everything. What a snake. Rage swallowed her thoughts. Her eyes darkened as she tore into her wardrobe. Socks, running shorts, a black-pink t-shirt, and a cheap windbreaker flew out, yanked onto her panting body. She jammed her feet into beat-up moccasins. Fine for winter, and raced to the elevator, smashing the button. It groaned closer. Wait, the door. No, something else. She zipped back, opened a kitchen drawer, and snatched the biggest knife from there. The elevator door scraped open. Inside was the bony, grumpy grandma from apartment 17, staring at her upon entry. Masha waited for the doors to clank shut, then glared at her. A beat later, she screamed, more at the wall. God, you piss me off. I'm so over this. You're all so pathetic, so clueless. Something sucks, and you're like, oh, everyone's got it rough. That lame excuse. It could be worse. You don't see it. Living like that, you'll never know how could it be better. Morons! And you old bat, you'll say I'm dumber than those clown politicians. Oh, kids these days glued to phones. Don't you get it? It's you, always pointing fingers, blind to the real mess. If a mom just hugged her kid once, help with that pointless homework instead of blaming screens, things might actually change. The door scraped open again. Red hot, Masha stormed out, slamming the building door wide. Freezing air slammed her back. No time to waste. She bolted for the kindergarten. Tears blurred her eyes, hiding the dips and lumps in the ground. Sure enough, she tripped, smashing her face into icy mud. A deep breath, a hacking cough, and she was up, charging again. Warmth hit her lips, blood from a smashed nose, already crusting in the cold. Nothing mattered now but payback. Close to the building, parents and kids gawked. Some pulled their little ones tight, watching her warily. One guy stepped up, but her knife flashed, and he backed off fast. She burst through the gate, blurry eyes hunting the entrance. Then a voice, too familiar, froze her. She yelled, "Victor, is that you?" A shaky, "Yeah, it's me, Masha?" She tore toward the sound. There he was, pale and spooked, next to his wide-eyed little sister. "I missed you so bad," she sobbed. "Me too, but what's wrong? You're bleeding and a knife." "I'm so ashamed," she choked out. "Misha told me how you spilled my secrets, those photos. I was furious, Victor. I ran here to kill you, but now I hate myself. I'm the worst. Trying to hurt you, I've already trashed myself. Forgive me." "It's okay," he said, voice soft. "We could have talked. I screwed up. I was gonna call you today to sort it out." You're saying," a wild laugh broke free, bubbling with blood in her throat. "No, sorry. It's too late now." "Too late for what, Masha? Masha?" Just forgive me." She lifted the knife, not at him, but herself. For a heartbeat, she froze, torn between his scared eyes and her own end. Then, with all her fury, she plunged it into her throat. Blood poured out immediately, melting the clean snow red. Victor's sister yelped and stumbled back. He stared, numb, as the girl who had loved him so hard faded right there. No, this can't be," he mumbled. "Just a bad dream. No way." He dropped beside her, tears spilling, and pressed his lips to hers, desperate to pull her back. Her cold hand grazed his chest. A faint, gurgling "thanks" slipped out. A crowd closed in, some crying, some nodding, some gripping about reckless kids. Too bad no one was left to snap back. Up, in a kindergarten window, two red eyes glowed soft, dripping thin tears. Next day, Masha's room spilled a secret. A beat-up notebook of poems was found, the last one scratched in on February 7th, just a day before she was gone. What the hell? There is a song included into a novel? What is that guy doing? By the way, trying to record from the first try because someone is lazy. Выход есть всегда, нам кричат. Только поищи, сильно не ленясь. Руки напрягу и в кровь сотру. Так выход я свой найду. Все бы нам успеть, стой, не так. Перестань жалеть и ни шагу впредь назад. Бывает поутру я устаю, но выход я там найду. Этот шумный грязный город накрывает адский холод. Мерзнут люди тотчас все, и где-то в моей голове мысли странные пошли, душу вдали унесли. Так зачем это мне? Я смогу это забыть. Почему тогда стало так? Клятая среда, хватит, стоп, не могу я так. Дай мне только знак. Скажешь, ой, погоди, постой, кофточка, отстой. Смешишь всех, полян на обум, не держа свой ум. Лучше всех, типа лучше всех, где-то в облаках, только там сидишь так себе в сладких мыльных снах. Что ж ты, принц, ты такой большой, мой ты дорогой. Посмотри, мне ты покажи, чего стоишь ты. Я в себя верю, как и в тебя верю, и верю, все будет путем. Тогда заведусь, как сказать, кто посмеет, на грани безумия живем. Правильный настрой, он с утра встал, ноги не стой, это не беда. А я заведусь, воспламенюсь, но под систему не прогнусь. Да, себя не жалей, руки в кровь. Отпустить не смей и не дрогнет даже бровь. Да, я заведусь, воспламенюсь, но под систему не прогнусь. Миленький малыш мой, видишь, я плоха. Затормозил и удар из-под тишка. Хватит плакать, миленький ты мой. Если будешь врать, не вернешься ты. Люди все кучей стадом бегут, в тесной толпе выход свой не найдут. Фух, в этот раз меня принесло, дальше я напрочь забуду про зло. Ну а ты дальше спокойно бежишь, сердце всю тяжесть тугую хранишь. Просто забудь, все как-то можно еще повернуть. Я в себя верю, как и в тебя верю, и верю, все будет путем. Тогда заведусь, как сказать, кто посмеет, на грани безумия живем. Вот это вам продакшн такой, да? Надеюсь, получился не кринж, хотя это был кринж. Спасибо.